Imagine waking up tomorrow to a financial earthquake so massive it reshapes the global economy, where a single decision made in a distant boardroom turns everyday currency holders into millionaires overnight. This isn't the plot of a science fiction movie. This is the powerful, pervasive, and potentially dangerous dream being sold to hundreds of thousands of people right now regarding the Iraqi Dinar and Vietnam Dong. What if everything you've been told about an imminent revaluation is part of a carefully constructed illusion, one that benefits a select few gurus and information peddlers, while your money sits trapped in a financial purgatory with no exit in sight? The truth about the 2025 revaluation narrative is far more complex and less glamorous than the viral headlines suggest, and today, we are going on a fearless journey to separate verifiable fact from financially devastating fiction. If you are holding these currencies or considering investing, you cannot afford to ignore what we are about to reveal, because the difference between financial freedom and financial ruin in this speculative game hinges entirely on your ability to discern reality from fantasy. Let's be unequivocally clear from the outset. As of late 2024 and projecting into 2025, the Central Bank of Iraq has maintained a consistent and publicly verifiable official exchange rate peg of approximately 1,310 Iraqi dinar to one United States dollar. This is not a secret. It is the cornerstone of their monetary policy designed to provide stability in a recovering economy. This rate is echoed across every legitimate financial institution and international trading platform with access to the Iraqi currency. Simultaneously, the State Bank of Vietnam manages the dong within a tightly controlled trading band, with its value hovering around 24,800 VND to 1 USD, reflecting a deliberate and managed float system. These are not arbitrary numbers. They are the bedrock of current economic reality, and any narrative that suggests a secret, vastly different rate is about to be revealed must be met with immediate and profound skepticism. The foundational argument for a revaluation often points to Iraq's vast oil wealth. Estimated at over 145 billion barrels in proven reserves, proponents claim this natural resource alone justifies a currency value explosion. However, argument critically ignores the stark economic realities on the ground. Iraq's economy remains overwhelmingly monolithic, with oil revenues constituting nearly 90% of the federal budget. This creates extreme vulnerability to global price shocks rather than a diversified, stable economic foundation that could support a stronger currency. Furthermore, significant political challenges and infrastructural needs continue to demand massive financial investment, meaning oil revenues are immediately funneled into operational costs and development projects, not held in reserve to back a hypothetical, dramatically stronger dinar. The recent buzz surrounding Iraq's potential adherence to the ISO 2022 financial messaging standard has been seized upon by the guru community as a definitive trigger for a revaluation. ISO 2022 is a global standard for electronic data exchange between financial institutions. It is a technological upgrade for improving the efficiency and transparency of payment systems, adopted by dozens of countries including Switzerland, India, and Australia. None of these countries experienced a currency revaluation as a direct result of this implementation. It is a system for how money is moved, not a lever that determines the value of that money. Presenting it as a magic switch is a fundamental misrepresentation of its purpose. The same critical thinking must be applied to the ongoing project to replace the physical currency notes in Iraq. This process, often mischaracterized as a currency recall or delete of zeros, is primarily a logistical and anti-corruption measure aimed at combating counterfeiting and simplifying cash transactions within the country. While a redenomination can sometimes be paired with monetary reform, the Central Bank of Iraq has repeatedly stated the goal is to create a more efficient monetary system without altering the intrinsic value of the currency for international holders. The idea that foreign speculators holding old notes will see them miraculously multiply in value during a swap is a fantasy not supported by the economic history of other countries that have undergone similar processes, such as Turkey or Romania. The painful reality is that the market for buying and selling the Iraqi dinar and Vietnam dong outside of their home countries is largely a one-way street. Now, let's pull back the curtain on the very engine that keeps this revaluation dream alive, a sophisticated and self-sustaining ecosystem of gurus, rumor mills, and psychological manipulation that preys on hope and financial desperation. This shadow industry doesn't profit from the revaluation itself. It profits from selling the promise of the revaluation. And the longer the promise remains unfulfilled, the more lucrative this business becomes. The heart of this ecosystem are charismatic figures like Pimpy, Marquis, and Frank 26, who have built media empires by offering daily intel, interpretations of obscure news clips and cryptic scoops from unnamed banking sources. Their business model is ingenious and devastatingly effective. They offer free teaser content on platforms like YouTube and forums to build a massive audience, then funnel their most dedicated followers into paid subscription services, exclusive chat groups, and premium websites where the real information is supposedly shared. The cost of admission to this inner circle can range from a few dollars a month to hundreds for lifetime access, creating a steady and reliable revenue stream that is completely detached from whether the dinar or dong ever revalues. This creates a fundamental and irreconcilable conflict of interest. Their financial success depends not on being correct, but on being compelling enough to maintain hope and engagement, which is why the predicted revaluation date is perpetually just weeks or months away, a moving target that never arrives. The language they use is deliberately opaque and filled with community-specific jargon like Tier 4B, the reset redemption centers, and the new quantum financial system. This specialized lexicon serves a dual purpose. It makes followers feel like they are part of an enlightened inner circle with access to secret knowledge, while simultaneously making it difficult for outsiders to debunk their claims. When a critic questions the logic, the immediate dismissal is that they just don't understand the complex process, effectively insulating the narrative from scrutiny. The rumors you hear about international contracts being signed, certain banks activating their systems, or high-level meetings in Baghdad are almost always fragments of mundane financial news, inflated to apocalyptic proportions. A routine central bank statement about improving digital payment infrastructure becomes proof of an imminent global currency reset. A standard diplomatic visit is framed as the final negotiation for the revaluation. This constant drumbeat of intel creates a state of perpetual urgency, making investors fear that if they sell their currency today, the announcement will happen tomorrow, locking them in a cycle of hope and fear. The psychological hooks run even deeper, tapping into powerful cognitive biases that cloud rational judgment. Sunk cost fallacy makes it increasingly difficult for someone who has invested thousands of dollars and years of their life to walk away, as admitting it was a mistake is too painful to bear. Confirmation bias ensures that they seek out and believe any information that supports the dream, while aggressively dismissing any contradictory evidence from mainstream financial sources, which are conveniently labeled as part of the corrupt system trying to suppress the truth. This us versus them mentality is a classic cult-like manipulation technique, binding the community closer together and further isolating them from reality. Perhaps the most telling red flag is the complete absence of these investment opportunities in any legitimate financial advisory service. Major banks like JP Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs, Barclays do not offer dinar or dong trading to their retail clients. Respected brokerage firms like Fidelity or Vanguard do not have them in their product listings. Why? Because these currencies for international speculators are considered highly illiquid, incredibly volatile, and fraught with counterparty risk. The primary and often only places to buy dinar and dong are through specialized, unregulated online dealers or at currency kiosks, which typically charge substantial premiums over the official exchange rate. This means you are already starting your investment at a significant loss, a loss that is only recouped if a monumental, historic revaluation occurs, an event with no precedent in modern economic history for a currency of this nature. The entire structure is designed to benefit everyone except the end investor. The gurus earn from subscriptions, the dealers earn from massive spreads and fees, and the hopeful holder is left clutching a foreign currency note, waiting for a ship that will never come in. So where does this leave you, the investor standing at the crossroads between a deeply held dream and a stark financial reality? The most responsible and crucial step you can take right now is to perform a radical audit of your own investment thesis, stripping away the layers of guru influence and emotional attachment to examine the cold, hard facts. Ask yourself the difficult questions. If this is the financial opportunity of a lifetime, why is it entirely ignored by every major Wall Street bank, hedge fund, and sovereign wealth fund on the planet? These institutions have teams of the world's brightest analysts whose sole job is to find undervalued assets across the globe. Their collective silence on the dinar and dong is not a conspiracy to keep it a secret, but a resounding verdict on its lack of credible investment merit. The fundamental truth that every holder must confront is that the entire revaluation narrative is built on a logical paradox. It requires you to believe that a handful of uncredentialed internet commentators have discovered a secret path to untold wealth that has eluded the entire global financial establishment for over 2 decades. The real exit strategy from this situation is not waiting for a mythical bank notification. It is a conscious decision to reclaim your financial autonomy and critical thinking. For those holding these currencies, the most empowering move is to calculate the true cost of this endeavor, not just the initial purchase price, the opportunity cost of the capital that has been locked away for years, capital that could have been invested in a diversified portfolio of stocks, bonds, or real estate that actually generates wealth through dividends, interest, and appreciation. The psychological burden of waiting for a life-changing event that never materializes is a heavy weight to carry. Lifting that weight can be more liberating than any potential financial windfall. If you still believe in the long-term economic potential of Iraq or Vietnam, there are far more transparent and regulated ways to gain exposure, such as emerging market exchange-traded funds, ETFs, that track a basket of stocks in those regions, shares in multinational corporations involved in their infrastructure projects. These are liquid, regulated assets you can buy and sell through any standard brokerage account, and their performance is tied to the actual economic growth of the country, not the whims of a currency rumor mill. This shift in strategy moves you from the shadowy world of speculative currency speculation into the sunlight of mainstream, evidence-based investing. The ultimate call to action today is not to subscribe to another guru or buy more currency. It is to invest in the most valuable asset you will ever possess, your own financial education. Dedicate the time you currently spend scouring forums for intel to instead learning about fundamental analysis, macroeconomic principles, and the historical performance of different asset classes. Understand what truly drives currency valuations, interest rates, inflation, trade balances, and political stability, not secret meetings or digital switches. This knowledge is the only thing that can permanently immunize you against financial scams and get rich-quick schemes, not just for this investment, but for all others you will encounter in your life. We have laid out the evidence, dissected the ecosystem, and presented the reality. The power to make the next move is now in your hands. You can choose to remain in the waiting room of a promise that has been broken for 2 decades, or you can choose to walk out and take control of your financial future with clarity and confidence. The real revaluation you need might not be of your currency, but of your strategy. If this journey from hope to clarity has resonated with you, if you are ready to cut through the noise and build real, lasting wealth on a foundation of truth and education, then we are here to guide you. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because we are committed to being your beacon of unbiased financial analysis in a sea of misinformation. Share this video with one person you care about who might be caught in this cycle. You could literally save them from a significant financial mistake. Path to genuine financial freedom starts with a single step: the courage to see the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. Take that step with us today.